Hello, I'm Batu, Principal Software Specialist for American Workflows, and today we're going to be talking about the AI America CMMS in Hospital Facility Maintenance Management. All right, let's start with the dashboard. As you can see, this is our main dashboard. Under here, we can see all our done assets, all our open work orders, all the work orders that's been due this week, all our overdue work orders, overdue recurring work orders, and lastly, we can also see our work orders that completed today. On the below, we can see there is a one work request awaiting approval, as you can see here, with the creation date, with the asset ID, and the work that has been requested with the asset description. On the right, we have the new unassigned work orders that we can see here. With their work order number, with their priority level, we can see all our asset ID, with their work requested, with asset description. All right, so let's start with the assets. As you can see on the top, by the way, we have the assets, work orders, all the recurring works, our inventory, purchasing, issuing, and lastly, reporting. Let's start with assets. First, we have the view assets, so let's click on that. Under view assets, we can see all our assets in one place. As you can see with their asset ID, with their description, as you can see with their site name, with their department, and their current status. As you can see, some of them are degraded, some of them are running, and so forth. So let's go into an example asset, for example. I'm going to go with pump 004 asset. As you can see with the search bar, and we can search it through here because we have, let's see how many, we have over like close to 2,000 assets. So instead of going searching, looking, we can always search to make it easier. So I'm going to go with again pump 004. And as you can see, when I search it, I can see my asset ID with a description. So let's double click on that asset and we'll go into more detail. Here we go. So this is the specific assets detail. As you can see, we can see all the general information. On the general information, we can see the manufacturer ID with the model number. We can see the manufacturer plus our warranty end dates. We can also see our financial information. Financial information such as GL account, our cost center, our purchase date with the purchase price, and our current value with the depreciation life in years, as you can see here. Below that, we have the cost of asset ownership. We can here under that, we can see our planned work, all our labor, or our unplanned work, and all the parts and total here as well. Below the cost of asset ownership, we have the conditions that being monitored. Under here, we can see all our last updates. As for example, here, our last update was in last month with the value number here. We can see it for each conditions. Below that, we have also the machine attribute. We can see the horsepower, like size and so forth, the type. We also have option to put notes and files here as well. As you can see, we have the manual, pump manual. You can also see the pump schematics. Let's click on it. As you can see here, this is the schematic of the pump, and we can also see the image of the pump as well. As you can see here, we can also put like confined space permit and so for all the files. You can open a manual. You can save the manual here as well to PC, and that will download to your local PC, and you can view it from there as well. We can also see activity log. You can see with their date, with their description, and you can see which user change if anything. Like if there is this can be any user, like any team member, you can see it under here. All right, below that, we also have a performance, right? After performance, you can see our production information. You can see the total downtime, with their start and end dates, with their total downtime, with their reason. So this first one, for example, the reason was there was an unexpected failure, and the note was, it will not start. So this is just an example. Below that, we have the performance tags with the OE history, as you can see here. You can see all the schedule history, all the production or the downtimes and so forth. With their availability here, you can see it on the level is 100%. You can also see the total utilization, right? You can see the total utilization value, their username, of course, with the date and their unit, which is hours. You can see in the here graph here as well. And lastly, on the performance, we can see the operator. So under operator, this technician 3 is the name of the operator, for example. Now let's talk about work history. All right, so under work history, we have all the linked procedures. So with of course, with their procedure number, we can see the description with notes. Below that, we can see it on the on the chart. Like we can see all the dates, all the procedure number again with the procedure description, and with their group number, with the data type, and so forth. Below that, we have all the link works. So in here, we can see all the works that have been linked, right? So with the work requested, again, with the trigger type, with the asset ID. Below that, we can see all the work orders for this specific asset with their work order number, which date this specific work order that's been created, and the reason for work order here as well. For example, this one is a failing inspection, right? And it's been work requested and they replace faulty switch, and that's the purpose of the work order. You can also see the work history for the specific assets, under here, of course, with the work history number, with the work requested description, date assigned to this technician, and as you can see, status is been assigned and the type is repair, right? Or if you move to the right a little bit, you can see the date due, date's been started, although requested by this person, and so forth. Below that, we have all the link parts. Under link parts, you can see all the parts that have been linked to the specific asset. So again, with the item number, the description, locations. And you can see the part history here as well, as you can see here. And lastly, under work history, we have the condition-based action triggers. Under here, we can, base action triggers depends on the condition. And you can see is again the pressure, runtime, temp, and so forth. All right, so this was our asset. If you want to create a new asset, we can create a new asset here as well. Simply click on create asset, and we're going to have to choose our asset type, such as machine, vehicles, and so forth. And we're going to have to put our asset ID. We're going to have to put description, which site is going to be in this specific asset. And we're going to have to choose a department, area, current status, it is running or new or retired or offline, right? I'm going to have to put asset info, such as location, manufacturer, model, the asset ID, class, serial number, warranty ended, and equipment ID. And we also have under asset the facility view. So let's click on that. And as you can see, we have different facility layouts. For this example, I'm going to be going with the Springfield plant. Once you click on a specific plant, as you can see, this is interactive. As you can see, the green ones are the assets that have been available, and the red ones, the assets that have been done at the moment. Is interactive. As you can see, we can see it, we can move it, and you can see the whole layout for this specific plant. For example, I have my asset here called, this specific asset pump 004 again. It's down, right? When you click on it, you can see the description of the asset and status is done. So we can create a work request for the specific asset because the status is being down, and we can also create an item request for the specific asset as well. And again, when we click to this tab here on we can view the asset in a detailed format, which we were there like a minute ago. So when you click on it, that will take us to the asset detail again, which I showed you like a minute ago again. All right, so this was pretty much the whole asset overview. Now let's move to the work orders. So on the work orders, we can view the work orders. We can create new work orders. We can view project, create project. We can create work request, view work request, and lastly, we can work order calendar. So, for example, let's go with let's view all the work orders. Here, as you can see, you can view all our work orders. In the system, we have 70 work orders at the moment. We can see all the work orders ID numbers on the left with their asset ID, with the asset description. You can see all their status, some of them are assigned, some of them are review, and the works being requested, you can see here. For example, this example, as well as a monthly oil change for this date. You can see the work order type here as well. Next, we can also create work orders from scratch. So in order to do that, we can click on create work order, and it will take us to this page. Under here, we can choose our work order type. So is it going to be repaired, safety, inspection, or calibration, right? And we're going to schedule the type. So it's going to be unplanned, planned, or ongoing. I'm going to have to choose a project for this work order. I'm going to have to put a task, and we're going to be choosing who requested this work order, right? Requested by who, and the date and time as well. I'm going to have to put a due date and the reason for work. So it's going to be like, is it because of done asset or failed inspection and so forth, right? And we can also put a description for work requested. And once we're all done, we can create, we can click on create on the bottom here, and that will create our brand new work order. We can also view all our project under work order as well, as you can see here, with the project ID, with the project names, with the project type, and with their status. We can see our total hours, and we can see our total estimates if we move a little bit on the right. There we go. Total estimates, project cost, our total work cost. Let's move a little bit more right. And we can see the actual completion date and actual start, the target date, with the target completion date, and so forth. Let's go back to our work orders. And under that, this was the view of the project. We can also create project from scratch as well by clicking on create project. We're gonna have to choose a type, then we're gonna hit continue. Then we can set up our brand new project. We can also create work orders and view work request. Let's go with, for example, view work request, and that we can see this example, for example, we can see the work request number, the date this has been created with the asset ID, asset description, and then who this work requested with the work order type, and requested by this person, which is supervisor, and inside this site. Lastly, under work orders, we can see all our work order calendar. As you can see here, we can see all our calendar. We can do this is for today. On the left, we can see type of all the work orders. If you put on a monthly, we can see monthly as well here in here. So we can choose our date for which date is gonna be under here. We can choose assign to technician 1, technician 2, and we can also search a specific work order through here as well. You have that option as well. All right, so this was our work order. Now let's move into the recurring work. On the recurring work, we can view all the recurring works. When we click on it, as you can see, this is all recurring works with their asset code, again with their asset description, works that have been requested with the work order type. We also have the option to create the recurring work. Also, we can view all the procedures under here with the procedure ID, with their description, and the number of steps that's going to be taken for this procedure, right? We can also create procedure. We can also view TPMs, and we can also create the TPM. We have that option as well. Now let's move to the inventory. Under inventory, we can create the item. We can serialize items in query. We can approve inventory counts and transfer inventory and so forth. So for example, let's view items under inventory. As you can see, these are all the inventory items in the system with their item number, again with their description. We can see how many of this item been on hand. For this example, we have 12 of this item, and we can also see item class with their location, and under this stock room, and you can see the preferred vendor preference here as well, and with the last cost. And we also have an option to put an image and attachment here as well. We can also create an item by clicking on create an item under inventory. First, we're going to have to put our item type with the item class. We're going to have to put the item number, our preferred vendor, description, of course, and our stock room. So these are mandatory, as you can see on the sign here. We also have an option to put our manufacturer ID, our vendor part number, our cost, and so forth. We can also approve inventory counts. We also have that option, for this for example, for this item number, for this location, actual count, system count, and as you can see, it's 24. We can see the description counted by this person, and under the stock room. So as you can see here, and once you're all done, we can save this and click on finish on the bottom, as you can see here. We can also transfer inventory. We have that option. in the system as well. We can these are all the transfer inventory that's been done in the past. For as you can see the transfer number for this item, the description you can see in the stock room from transfer quantity which is 1 from this location to this destination, right? The status you can see placed by this person and the stock unit and dates that had been placed and so forth. All right, so that was pretty much the inventory. Now let's move on to the purchasing. On the purchasing, we can view all our purchase orders, create a new purchase order. We can view all our vendors. We can create the requisition, and we can item the reorder list, right? So let's start by viewing our purchase order. So once you click on it, you'll see all our purchase orders in one place. As you can see in system, I have 49 item purchase orders on the top, on the bottom right here, as you can see here. So yeah, again, let's take this as an example. The first column, we can see our purchase order number with the vendor name. You can see the order total or here under here. You can see the status is being built. You can see it's been entered on this date and placed by this person. You can also see under which stock room with the dates been expected, and you can also see the exchange right here as well. We also have the currency. Let's make this bigger. Currency ID. We also have a vendor invoice total here as well if it is it's an option. We also can create a brand new purchase order by clicking Create Purchase Order. So once we click on it, we're gonna have to put the vendor name, the vendor quota with a cost center, which currency. We can put a type is purchase order, and the status is being built. Below that, we're gonna have to choose our line items, all right? So under the stack room, we have to choose our GL account and date that been expected, right? Under general info, we're gonna have to put our general info such as work order number. We have to search it with the project, task, asset, and lastly, we're gonna have to put our vendor info. So AutoSum format, in what format like, if it's gonna be email, fax, or none, right? So if it is email, we can put the email too. So we have that option. All right, so this is how to create a purchase order. We can also view all our vendors as well. So in here, we have 7 vendors right now with the system with their ID. We can see the name and with their address. So we can view our vendors. We can also receive purchase orders. So we have that option here. So when we click on receive purchase orders, that you can see all the purchase orders that have been received. With the purchase order number, vendor name, the order total, as you can see on this column, again with their status and the dates been entered and so forth. All right, so that covers the purchasing. Let's move to the issue. So under issuing, we can issue the items, we can view issues, we can view reservations, and we can create a brand new reservation. So let's click on issue items. As you can see under here, we can issue an item, right? So we're gonna have to put our work order first, number first, then asset, then issue to who. So it's gonna be issued to this person and issued by this person, and under which stock room, right? Once you're all done, we can hit finish, and that will update our issue items. So let's click on view of issues. As you can see, we have 164 view issue items. As you can see right here, we have again, let's take this first column as an example. We can see the order number with the item number, issue date for this description with issue to this person, and you can see the extended price with the asset number and the work order number. And once you double click on it, you'll go into more detail of this specific issue. You can see the stock room, you can see the work order number, and below that you can see the items that's been associated with it. So you can see this item, 2 item with the quantities that have been issued, with the total unit price, extended price. We can see the current on hand, I'm sorry. And also you can see the stock room and the location. Let's go back. And yes, this is how we can view the issues. We can also view the reservations under here, right? So these are all the reservations. You can see the item type, some of them are non-inventory, some of them are spare parts inventory. You can see the item class that's been associated with the reservations. You can also see the work order due date with the item number, item ID. You can see again with the stock room, we get a work order number. Again, if you want to go into more detail, we can double click on it, and that will take us to the detail view. As you can see here, again, we can see the stockroom with their items and with their quantity reserve, unit price, and their extended project price. Lastly, under issuing, we can create an issue. So when you click on create reservation, when you click on create reservation, this page will come up. So you're gonna have to put the stockroom with the dates that been wanted and reserved for this person. We're gonna have to put our work order number, which is we can search it through here, and we're gonna be choosing our work order. Then we're gonna have to put our asset, so we can click on search again, and we're gonna have to choose an asset for this reservation. And it's optional to put a comment, if you want it, it's optional. Then once we're done with all this information, we can click on finish on the bottom left, as you can see on this button, and that will create a new reservation. All right, so lastly, let's talk about reporting. Let's click on it. Under reporting, we have like standard reports such as asset management. Under asset management reports, we can see the asset downtime history. We can see the asset hierarchy, so asset inventory list. We also have a work management reports. Under work management reports, we can see labor type by employee, procedure list, all the work orders that have been burned down, all the work order summary. If we wanna view, we also have the option to download this as a PDF or on Excel. So when you click on a PDF, as you can see here, we can put all the information and we can click on run it. And as you can see here, that will bring us to this report. Let's make this a bit bigger and let's zoom in. As you can see, this is our work order summary. You can see the work order number with their asset, with their status. You can see the craft, the type requested by this person and assigned to this person, and which date has been created, and you can see the due date and the completion date. And the same concept goes with every other reporting here. All right, let's exit out here. We also have materials management. Under materials management, we have several reports, as you can see here, such as inventory adjustments, usage details by asset, vendor master list. We also have administration. Under administration, we can see all our user listing report, all our user permission report, all our user licenses, and so forth. We also have forms. Under forms, we can see all our purchase order receipt. For example, let's see all our purchase order. Let's click on it. This one, and let's run it. As you can see, this is a sample purchase order. Let me make this bigger a little bit. We can see the vendor is going to be shipped to here, and you can see the item with the quantity, unit cost, and below we can see the total amount here as well. So this was just an example. Purchase order report. Again, we can see such as recurrent work checklist, all our work order reports, and work requested reports. All right, so this pretty much sums up the reporting as well. And thank you. This sums up the AI America CMMS.